The lead detective on the Foolio case gets pressed on cross-examination, but the state cooks on redirect. Defense lawyers try to add doubt to some of this evidence. The state kind of goes crazy, boys. I think this was a very impactful day for the jury. You'll see. Bro, wait. Something is very wrong with his fingers. Look at the middle one.
Shout out
Davion
Cuff
looking
Boys,
like
we
he's
had to
chilling.
cover
And
today.
here's Rashad
This is Set
spacing
by
out.
Fire.
He has to be
Christian
on some sort of
Whitlow. We're gonna
medication.
be covering
And his entourage
this,
went
going
into the
over
club
this
in,
together.
between 2:27 and 2:30, at which point the two occupants
We
went back to the
covered
cruise.
yesterday
They sat in the car for
with
approximately
I'm
a minute
Not
or two, and they
Lawyer,
left around 2:31.
but
And then
we're
what
gonna
time do we finally see the
react
black
to
Chevy
Cuff
Impala
Boys
arrive,
today.
which is
Either way, I
signified by the
want to
red
keep
earrings?
following the trial.
This is approximately 25 to 30 minutes later. The black Impala southbound on Nebraska and comes into view of camera approximately 2:54 as the victim and his entourage are coming out of the club.
Does anybody from the black Chevy Impala ever get out at this location out of the vehicle?
No.
Does the black Chevy Impala ever park at Teaser's nightclub?
No.
Yeah, scoping it out.
The front parking lot camera here facing north. Two subjects from the Silver Cruise walking through the parking lot on the north side there.
And again, did you see the tall person with Alicia Andrews holding anything in his hand?
Yes.
Again, was that significant to your investigation later when you subpoena and do a search warrant for their phone information?
Yes.
And based on color, make, and model, does it appear to be the same black Chevy Impala that you saw at the Teaser's nightclub?
Yes.
Same with the silver Chevy Cruise?
Yes.
What camera view are we looking at now?
This is the first floor, bottom of the stairwell.
So the Impala purposely turns right and circles a whole lot of both hotels. Parks out back. Foolio is right here in this green dot. Chevy Cruise comes in and drives past him twice to confirm he's there and leaves out this way. Shooters hop out the car right here in the Impala, turn the corner and shoot him right here.
So we identified from the video footage 3 shooters, and we refer to them as shooter number 1, shooter number 2, and shooter number 3. Shooter number 1 was the one wielding the pistol that left the 9mm casings. That shooter was wearing a black hoodie, had black jeans on, or black pants, had visible rip in the left knee area with a black leather belt and black military-style boots. Shooter number 2 was the first rifleman closer to the victim's position. That shooter was wearing like a dark blue hoodie, dark pants, and had on gloves and a mask. And then shooter number 3 was a one.
We're going to object to the detective narrating what he believes was depicted on the video. The best evidence is the video for the jury to determine what's depicted on it.
All right, I'm Olive for the objection. Go ahead.
Defense lawyer objects to the narration of the video.
And are there different areas of the video that there was better lighting in order to get any sort of visualization of color?
Yes, specifically to shooter number 2, we can see a break between where the glove ends and the sleeve begins on his wrist area, and in the eye area where his face mask ends.
Yes, he's covered, but you can clearly tell in some of these screenshots they have, it's a light-skinned dude.
This is shooter number 1, working his way back towards the Impala.
139D,
Just a close-up of shooter number 1,
139E.
further closing in on his shoes.
Bro, wore these shoes in the Walmart the day before.
The shooter number 2 appears to be heavier than shooter number 1. Shooter number 1 a little bit taller and skinnier.
His lawyer just got annoyed. I'm gonna zoom in on her face doing that. Why are you annoyed? Does she actually believe he's innocent? I always wondered this about lawyers. Do these
Right.
guys tell their lawyers they did it? Or do they lie to their lawyer's face and be like, yo, I'm innocent? And the lawyer believes it? Like, what is the situation like?
Shooter number 1 appears to be carrying a
Right.
pistol in his left hand. This is shooter number 3 with the orange ski mask.
And body style?
Heavier than the other 2.
They don't miss their chance to call Davion fat. Happens every time.
Yeah, from the phone, we learned that an Airbnb in Tampa was booked over the weekend of the murder, and we identified that Airbnb as the Airbnb that the suspect stayed at during their stay in Tampa. Yes, so from the ring footage at the Airbnb on the 22nd, we can see one of the suspects arriving and coming into the Airbnb, and then on the 23rd, post-murder, we can see several of the other defendants on camera leaving the Airbnb.
You drive hours to commit a murder and you get an Airbnb, right? Which is already a digital footprint of where you're staying. And you put yourself on a ring camera at the Airbnb a mile away from the murder. Like, it's truly astonishing.
Why would you go to trial? Why?
And if somebody wanted to get into the back door, is this the pathway that they would have to take in order to get into the back door?
Yes.
They did a walkthrough of the pathway they did, sneaking around out back. This is crazy. Rashad's like, yeah, I went that way. So obviously she was found guilty of manslaughter or whatever and got, what was it, 10 or 15 years? The judge, the same judge that's on this trial, got thrown out or whatever in the sentencing part of it. Like, her defense lawyers got her ass kicked off the case. So for being biased towards the defense during the trial of hers. So now I think they're going to try to get her in a whole new trial, which I think might backfire, bro. Like, imagine if they get her a whole new trial, and the new trial she's found guilty because she knew what was going on, bro. I don't care what anyone says.
For
She was
sure.
there with a mask on, walking outside in the parking lot with Isaiah.
Approximately 1:30 to 1:40 a.m. on Sunday the 23rd.
Is there any activation based on the front door of anyone leaving the front door in order to go to McDonald's?
No.
So what they're saying is before the murder, when they went to McDonald's, they used the back door because Davion avoided the camera on purpose until the next day because he's an idiot. At least that's what the state hints, is that these guys were avoiding the camera, but then at a certain point they stop. I just can't believe how much camera evidence there is in this case.
Do you ever see a black Chevy Impala or a silver Chevy Cruze parked in the two open, empty parking spots for this Airbnb?
No.
Then when is the next time you see camera activation for this Airbnb?
We don't see another activation until shortly after 2 p.m. on Sunday the 23rd.
And that would be after the homicide has already occurred, is that correct?
Correct. Yes, so that vehicle was identified as an Uber that was hired to take 3 of the defendants from Tampa back to Jacksonville.
And did you learn of that based on you watching these Ring videos?
This and other factors, yes. Yeah, that's the actual time that the reservation was made. That's in UTC, so the reservation was actually made at 3:54 a.m. on Saturday the 22nd.
And then if you scroll down, it's an Excel spreadsheet. Does it give the address and the location of the Airbnb where he made the or where Rashad Murphy makes the reservation?
Yes, 3703 Gazebo Pond Lane, Tampa, Florida, 33613.
The other day, his lawyers were trying to say that the message doesn't have the exact address. Well, there you go. Connected to Rashad Murphy. There's the exact address.
And who paid for the Airbnb?
That credit card was identified as belonging to defendant Isaiah Chance.
And then did you also get a search warrant for those records?
Yes.
Wait, so Isaiah lied because in his interview and the interrogation yesterday, the detective told us that Isaiah said he didn't have anything to do with booking an Airbnb and doesn't know if it was an Airbnb, but it's on his credit card.
One of the things that alerted you to the Uber driver.
I'm your Uber driver. Get in.
What'd you say?
I'm your Uber driver. Get in.
Based on your interview, was he willing to text you photographs of the trip ticket?
Yes.
And did you correspond and send him photographs of video footage that you had received from Sean Gathwright's house where the trip ended?
Yes.
And did he identify himself as the driver?
Yeah, that photo, he identified himself as that individual, yes.
And then the second photo that you sent?
This is of one of the suspects. I sent him this photo and asked him if this was the same person he picked up in Tampa.
Okay. And eventually, did you ask him to sign something to confirm that these were the individuals that he picked up from Tampa?
Yes, we met in person, and I printed out these exact same photos, and he signed them and dated them, acknowledging that those were the same people.
I can't show this full clip of Isaiah getting this Glock out of the car with the extended mag. They say that's what Rashad used, at least. Some people's channels got completely flagged because of showing this. All right, we got Cross on the detective.
He did not or was not able to provide you much information about what happened other than shooting starting.
Objection again, hearsay.
So none of Foolio's friends are really giving a lot of information, really.
He did not give you much information about what had occurred except for that the shooting all of a sudden started and it was chaos.
Correct.
You had the occasion to come in contact with Mr. Howard again for another interview, correct?
Yes.
That would have been in August of 2025.
Correct.
And that was a result of Mr. Howard coming forward through whatever channels he did so in order to provide you additional information, correct?
Correct.
And at the time that he did so, he was now incarcerated, correct?
Correct.
He was incarcerated because almost immediately after returning to Jacksonville after the murder, he was arrested on federal offenses, correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
And is it also your understanding he also had a state court in Duval County, a violation of probation, correct?
I'm not sure about the state. I do know that the feds got him for something.
And as a result of those pending charges, do you know whether or not he's entered a plea of guilty?
I do not know.
Do you know whether or not he's been sentenced on that case?
I have no idea.
The interview was buttressed statements that Mr. Howard gave you regarding communications he had with Rashad Murphy both before and after the murder, correct?
Correct.
And that is something that you had not heard before from Mr. Howard, correct?
Correct.
Dang.
Didn't hear it during the course of the interview that he gave on that night, correct?
Correct.
Didn't come forward and provide you that information at any time prior to August of 2025, correct?
Correct.
And during the course of that interview, was he seeking help with regard to his case?
I'm not aware of what he was trying to do. Like, I didn't promise him anything. Nothing that's being broken through me.
Without insinuating that you made him any specific or even general promises, he was seeking help with regard to his pending federal court case, was he not?
That's my general understanding, yes.
Kenny Caps apparently was trying to help out his federal case.
He also, if I'm not mistaken, had things to say about Isaiah Chance, correct?
Yes.
And those were things you had not heard before, correct?
Correct.
Because you hadn't had any contact with it.
Correct.
You did not do any type of forensic download on Mr. Howard's phone, correct?
I didn't have his phone, correct.
Well, you didn't have it.
Yes.
But the federal authorities had it, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, he signed in your presence a consent.
Correct.
In order to allow you to do that, correct?
Yes.
Was that ever done?
No, I never received a extraction of his phone.
Did you seek an extraction of his phone?
That was the purpose of him signing consent. We gave it to the feds, and my understanding was an attempt was going to be made. They never followed up with me or provided me with an extraction.
Well, the feds already had it, correct? That's where it's coming from.
I believe they had a device. Yeah, I don't know if that's the device that he was communicating with Isaiah Chance. My understanding of these communications that they spanned over a long period of time years ago, so I don't know that they were going to be able to extract anything that would prove that these guys were communicating within that time frame.
That an extraction of that phone could have provided data that might have corroborated what Mr. Howard was saying about Mr. Murphy and Mr. Chance.
I have no way of knowing that. I don't know if that device is a week old, 3 years old, 10 years old. I have no information about that device, when he obtained it, what he used it for. In theory, is it possible? Sure, I would agree to that.
The defense lawyer is trying to make it like he didn't do his job completely, corroborating a statement that Robert Howard made about Isaiah Chance.
Howard, that the federal government refused to give you the phone?
That is not what I'm saying. I'm telling you I never received an extraction from the federal government. I personally have not received an extraction. I have not reviewed an extraction.
You got the consent. Did you ask the federal government, can I have his phone to do an extraction on this murder case?
When we ended that meeting, my general understanding of what the agreement was is that they would look into it. There was no promises made. I was not told, hey, by this date you're going to have a copy of it. I was not made any promises or guarantees. My understanding was if we get the consent, they would look into it.
Okay. Did you follow up on that at all?
I personally, there was some emails exchanged, but nothing further besides a couple emails.
Thank you, Jack. Robert Howard was a very close friend of Charles Jones, foolio, correct?
That is my
known each other for a very long time.
That is my understanding, yes, sir.
Determined she was not going to give an interview, and she left the scene, correct?
At that time, yes.
And you were not capable of interviewing her because she did not make herself available for that, correct?
At that time, yes.
But she did go back to the scene for a short period of time, a little bit later, without presenting herself to law enforcement, correct?
I have a general understanding of that, yes.
So I think he's just trying to make all these witnesses look like liars and not cooperating, and you can't trust their statements or anything.
You cannot make a physical or facial identification of that shooter, number one, by way of the Tesla hotel footage that you were able to view, correct?
We obviously got a great physical description. Facial, I would agree that you cannot see the face of the shooters on the video.
Oh my God. The way this lawyer asks questions, I hate it. He's like, it's like 2 words at a time. He's like, did you brush your teeth this morning?
Video itself
By itself, yes.
does not provide you an identification of shooter number one.
On its own, it does not.
And that, for that matter, it would be the same for shooter number two, shooter number three.
Correct.
The entirety of the physical evidence from the scene that you would rely upon to identify Rashad Murphy as shooter number one consists of what you believe are similar clothing that he was wearing at the Walmart 30 or so hours earlier and what shooter number one is wearing at the scene.
That's not my belief. That's what's observable on camera.
Well,
Oh my God, that was good.
none of this clothing in and of itself unique as it relates to clothing worn on a regular everyday basis by anyone, correct?
I would argue that the tear could be unique if it wasn't manufactured that way, at the exact same spot, in both videos.
And
Lawyers tried to get the point across that
obviously everyone would certainly have their ability to look at that and will, but it is your opinion that when you did what you called a side-by-side of the Walmart still shot and the shooter number one still shot, I think you called it a perfect match.
That's what I felt, yes.
And that would be your opinion based on viewing them next to each other.
That would be my conclusion based off of analyzing both images side by side, yes.
It's not really part of it. It's really, in that regard, with regard to the jeans, it's all of it, correct?
Just to the jeans, it's the color, it's the general size and composition compared to the. I mean, there's other factors that I'm relying on to make that decision. But if we want to stick just to specifically the jeans, if I didn't see him on a person, sure.
and he's left-handed, and the shooter used his left hand. There's a lot of cards stacked against this guy.
And military boots,
Military
and
boots.
a black, what appears to be a leather belt, because you don't have the belt, correct?
Yes. No, I don't. I don't have any of the clothing.
So you're presuming that it's leather.
It looks like leather, yes. Sections in the Tesla footage and the hotel footage where you can see above the mask that there is skin tone visible from the footage that was recovered at the scene.
And we'll be able to see that, correct?
Yes.
And is that someone that I guess you would consider, is it dark-skinned? Is it medium-skinned? Is it, in that particular circumstance, light-skinned?
I would classify it as a darker skin, especially darker than the light-skinned male in that group.
Okay, so that would be the main distinguishing feature. It's not light. It's certainly darker than shooter number two.
As it pertains to the skin itself, yes.
You were not able to get any timing advanced or any cell location data that would place Mr. Murphy's phone either traveling from Jacksonville to Tampa, anywhere within the Tampa Bay area, or traveling back to Jacksonville from Tampa during the time frame in which you allege this conspiracy occurred, correct?
From my analysis of the cell site data, I believe that Rashad left that phone in Jacksonville. He did not bring it to Tampa.
Okay. Presuming that's your theory of prosecution, your theory of investigation, I understand. But at the end of the day, there was no evidence to support that he traveled to Tampa with his phone, the phone that he utilizes on a regular basis, correct?
There's evidence that he traveled to Tampa. There's no evidence that the phone traveled to Tampa.
Bro, I love this.
And at the time that you did that, you put that alert, you did not have or did not believe or had no evidence to suggest that Rashad Murphy was a suspect in this case, correct?
I was aware of his name. I did not have any evidence to charge him at that point, for sure.
Well, amount of time until you did a full investigation, correct?
So this was very early in the investigation. At that point, I had no evidence against Rashad Murphy.
Correct. And so this was more about the car. You wanted to find that car, and even when you put out the alert, you still didn't know exactly at that point in time who the registered owner was or where the car came from, correct?
Well, we ran the car. I mean, on David, it tells you the registered owner, yes.
But you didn't know any kind of connection.
I don't think I established a connection to Rashad Murphy till after, sure.
And that car was ultimately determined to be registered to Shaheem Murphy. Let me see if I can do this right. Shaheem Murphy, who is Rashad Murphy's brother, his baby's mother, correct?
Jasmine Glenn.
Jasmine Glenn.
Yes.
Dang.
While the Chevy Cruze was in Tampa, that you can see Rashad Murphy as an occupant of that vehicle, correct?
See as in like on video? Or?
Correct.
Yeah, there is no video footage that shows Rashad Murphy as an occupant of the cruise while it's in Tampa, correct?
The only video or the only evidence connecting Rashad Murphy with the cruise would be him receiving it on the 21st, correct? And then him being an occupant of it on the 26th, 5 days later in Gwinnett County, Georgia, correct?
Yes, he sourced the vehicle that was used in this homicide, one of the vehicles.
All right. So trying to add some doubt there.
Do you have any evidence that Rashad Murphy himself booked that Airbnb?
The Airbnb return that has his name as the person booking the Airbnb.
Would it be fair to say that what you're telling me is that Mr. Murphy's Airbnb account booked
Oh,
that?
sure. If you're implying that someone else could have been using an Airbnb account utilizing his name, I would agree with that. I have no way of knowing definitively who's holding the phone and who's typing in the booking details at the time, other than it was used with Rashad Murphy's name.
Great defense right there, right?
And you could get that two ways. You could get it surreptitiously, where somebody doesn't know that you're doing it, or you could be doing it with someone whose account and username is being used with permission, correct?
The person booking it would have had access to Rashad Murphy's phone and his ID as well, right?
Well,
when it was requested.
He wouldn't need to have access to his phone.
Well, it could be done from somebody else's
Yeah,
account. Sure.
it's very easy. All you need is the password and the ID, and you can book it from any phone, any device, in any way. You can do it online. You can do it verbally, as long as you have a account number and password. Correct?
The screenshot found in the same phone would lead me to believe that this was the phone utilized, but I have no definitive way of knowing that.
And that's what we see in States 101M. We see a notification to the phone that the account is associated to, saying that it's been booked. Correct?
This appears to be a screenshot from the Airbnb app, the messaging within that app, yes.
And what we do know is that Alicia Andrews was attempting prior to this to book an Airbnb. Correct?
I'm aware of that, yes.
Without success.
Correct.
And we also know that this notification on Mr. Murphy's account was sent to someone, correct? Because this is a screenshot.
I don't know if it was sent or not.
So I think he's going for here that it was Isaiah Chance or Alicia that booked this, not Rashad on Rashad's account.
So we don't know whether or not this identification was sent to someone to utilize it to confirm this booking, right? We just don't know.
We have no way of knowing whether it was sent or not.
During the time that individuals were in Tampa, until such time as the Uber was hired to drive back to Jacksonville. That was a very long statement.
I get the gist of it. No, Rashad Murphy was not captured on the ring footage in Tampa. There's only one person seen during the entrance, and that's Alicia Andrews.
Correct.
None of the males make themselves visible on camera until the very end.
Okay.
And there's evidence that people were coming in and out of that Airbnb all night.
No evidence that Mr. Murphy did that, though. Rashad Murphy.
Not on camera, no.
There is no evidence to that in that respect because Mr. Murphy was in the parking lot outside of the purview of the camera, correct?
I would agree that Mr. Murphy never got in front of the camera enough to activate it.
Whether or not the Airbnb was booked after?
Yes, I spoke to the owner, and he actually had a couple bookings in between the time, within the 5 day period, 4 or 5 day period.
Understanding that that might have retarded in some respect portions of the investigation, is that the sole reason why you didn't get consent from the owner in order to process the Airbnb?
100%. With 2 rentals in between, that was the decision was made that we were not going to attempt to search the Airbnb.
I don't remember that from the first trial. They couldn't go in there, try to look for fingerprints or nothing. They cleaned it up. Other people have been.
That somewhere within the course of that 2-bedroom, 2-bath Airbnb that you could not find latent evidence that could tie anyone that might have been inside of it to it?
So I have evidence that all of the defendants were inside of the Airbnb, and after 2 different rentals, I spoke to the owner. He was very adamant that there's a thorough cleaning process that occurs, so there would have been no items left behind and surfaces would have been wiped clean.
And are you qualifying that answer in some respect?
There's testimony from Mr. Murphy himself about being in the Airbnb.
Tell me about that. That was during the course of his interview?
With Christopher Draybeck, yes.
Oh, he fucked up then. What are we doing here? His lawyer been doing all this just for him to admit it during the interview. This has been pointless. In his interrogation, he admits he's in the Airbnb. This is cooked. The whole last hour of this has been for no reason.
Parts of it, Draybeck gave me a summary, and he told me that Rashad Murphy admitted to being inside of the Airbnb.
Did you listen or look to that interview to qualify whether that was correct? Have you seen it? Have you seen the interview and read it?
I have watched parts of it. I have not watched the entirety of the footage. But again, I'm relaying information to you that was relayed to me by Christopher Draybeck during this investigation.
Do you know for a fact that that's what Mr. Murphy told Detective Draybeck?
I'm acting on good faith from what Draybeck told me.
Did you read or did you look at the portion of the interview that talked about the back door and whether he went in to the Airbnb? Did you ever read it?
No.
So if I were to show it to you, would it refresh your recollection if you had read it?
No, I haven't read it, no.
Okay. So it would be Detective Draybeck that would be able to tell us exactly what Mr. Murphy said and whether or not what he said was he was inside that Airbnb.
Correct.
You interviewed Mr. Chance, correct?
Yes, sir.
And your investigation didn't reveal, as a result of that interview, anything that would implicate Mr. Murphy, did it?
No.
And you interviewed Alicia Andrews, correct?
Correct.
And there was nothing in Alicia Andrews' interview that would have implicated Mr. Murphy, correct?
No.
You interviewed Mr. Gathright as well?
I attempted an interview. I didn't obtain it.
Okay, no,
I'll move on.
move on.
I think he just said something to the jury that was bad regarding him not wanting to be interviewed or something.
Potentially fingerprints or DNA evidence. I assume anything that could have that, you would want to send off to get tested, right?
If I needed it for probative value to prove something, with that specific rag, he was on video using it. So at that point, there was no need to test the rag.
Sure. But you didn't send it off to see if it had any potential like gunpowder residue on it.
I did not send the rag off to get tested.
Some things you did send off to get tested, there would be, for instance, casings that were collected at the scene, right?
Correct.
And specifically, and I think you may have covered this yesterday, but 30 of those casings are sent to ATF, right?
Yes, sir.
Because ATF has a special procedure by which they can sometimes find DNA on casings.
Sometimes, yes.
That whatever procedure they use, it's more specified or more apt to find DNA than procedures that Florida Department of Law Enforcement would use.
The general understanding I have is their system is more advanced than what FDLE would have. Correct.
And then I believe at least one of the casings was given to TPD to potentially be tested for fingerprints as well. Is that correct?
NIBIN, primarily for NIBIN.
Right. NIBIN was one thing, but were they tested for prints at all?
So all of the casings get processed by crime scene technicians, and that includes swabs and an attempt for prints, whether visually or they throw powder on it. It's a decision they make.
And also within that car was a 9mm firearm, correct?
One complete firearm and the firing pin to another one.
Okay. And that 9mm is eliminated as being the 9mm that was used in the Tampa shooting, correct?
Through NIBIN, yes.
Right. And the firing pin is not connected to the casings that are found in the Tampa shooting either, correct?
It is not.
Were there some magazine, also firearm magazines found in the car?
I can't recall at this time. There was quite a lot of firearm paraphernalia items. There might have been a magazine.
Sure. And the casings you mentioned are connected back to casings that are found at a previous shooting in which Charles Jones was shot in the foot, correct?
Yeah, the October 7, 2023 prior attempt on Mr. Jones, yes.
Right. October, so what, about 9 months previously? I didn't do the math in my
4
head.
plus 3, 4, 8 months, sure.
October to June, whatever that is.
Rough math.
I'm not trying to pin you down.
That's right.
But ultimately, those are 300 blackouts, am I correct?
I believe there was a large amount of 300 blackout found in the car.
But the casings that are allegedly connected to the prior shooting, were those 300 blackouts?
I can't recall.
Okay. Whatever they were, ultimately, the information you come upon is that they were matched, as allegedly having been fired from the same gun that fired whatever casings were found at the prior Charles Jones shooting.
Correct.
Right? No one knows when the casings found in Mr. Guthright's car would have been fired, correct?
I'm sorry, the specific casings in his car, yes, they could have been fired at a different time. All that proves that the same gun that fired at Mr. Jones on October 7th fired those casings.
Right. Those might have been fired on June 24th.
Those specific casings in his car could have been fired at any time.
Could have been fired 5 years ago.
From the day that the rifle was sold, sure.
Right. At the scene of the Tampa shooting, we may discuss this in a little more detail in a moment as well, but there are no 300 caliber projectiles found, correct?
All the rifle projectiles basically broke up into pieces, so there was no definitive rifle projectile that we would be, to my understanding of what FDLE was able to make out.
Right.
Oh. See, I was wondering why the AR rifles at the house didn't match, and now it makes sense. It's because all the bullet fragments were destroyed, essentially. Like, they couldn't even test them at the scene of Foolio's murder to the gun that was found at Sean's house.
There were some fragments where they couldn't determine where they originated, but nothing is able to be matched back to say this is a third caliber.
Not that I'm aware of.
The sister previously had a relationship with Isaiah Chance.
I've learned that, yes.
Sean's sister, relationship with Isaiah previously?
Ultimately, the only thing from the house that is connected back to the Tampa shooting are two spent 9mm casings that are found inside the gun safe. Is that correct?
That was the biggest piece of evidence connecting to our case, correct? The two,
what?
The two spent 9mm casings, correct? Yes.
Ultimately, that's the only thing that connects back, right?
From Sean Gate, I can't recall. I know that there was some Matchtech ammunition that matched the brand, live ammunition, but again, we wouldn't have a way to match that live ammunition since it wasn't fired. Okay. But yes, the casings are the main thing.
Okay. And the two casings are found inside a brass catcher.
Yes, that's my understanding.
And the 9mm that is involved in the shooting in Tampa does not have a brass catcher attached, correct?
Correct.
And ultimately, brass catchers, they're utilized they attach securely to the ejection port of the firearm, correct?
Correct.
Intended to obviously capture the brass, the casings as they're being expelled.
Yes.
Right? And they would attach for that purpose. They attach securely to the ejection port, right?
Yes.
Again, you're not able to determine when those two 9mm casings would have been fired, correct?
Correct.
And ultimately, when you initially learned about those two casings, you believe they must have been fired at a time other than the Tampa shooting, correct?
Nothing that I can prove definitively.
Right. No, but the question I'm asking, you initially thought that the largest capacity Glock 9mm extended magazine would be 30 rounds.
To my
correct?
familiarity, I've since learned that they actually manufacture a 32 round as well. Yes.
But in the initial stage of the investigation, you did not know that, right?
I was initially I was thinking that 30 was the maximum. Correct.
So you assumed that those two casings had to have been fired on a different occasion because there were 31 9mm casings collected in Tampa, right?
It was a speculation at that time. Yes.
Right. I mean, you actually put that in your report that you prepared as well, right?
Yes.
And it would certainly sound like a 30 round magazine would probably be more common than a 32 round magazine.
Again, to my specific knowledge of extended magazines, or at least the ones that I've come in contact with, they're typically in 30 round, but I've since learned that they also make a 32 round.
Okay, so you can't get a 32. That
Yes.
wasn't something you knew early on.
Correct.
And ultimately, you do not recover the 9mm that's used in the shooting in Tampa.
No, we never find the 9mm used in this homicide.
So ultimately, you don't know what size extended magazine it had.
No.
And you're not able to determine that from the video that we have. Correct?
No, only that it's extended. Whether it's 30 or 32, I don't know.
So it's trying to add doubt about the magazine size. I still think it's pretty damning that matching shell casings are found in a home connected to a gun that murdered someone.
You saw a lot from the camera that's at the front door of the Airbnb, right?
Yes, sir.
There's no camera at the back door of the Airbnb, correct?
No, sir.
And in the back of the Airbnb, it's a sliding glass door, right?
Yes, sir.
And there's no coded lock in the back. Right?
No, sir.
So if someone keeps the back door unlocked, anyone can come in and out of the sliding glass door, correct?
I would agree with that. Yes, sir.
You wouldn't need a code to do that.
Correct.
And that gate, I think we saw in the video you took, there's a gate in the fence. There's no lock on that wood fence that you would have to go through to get into the back.
Yeah, it's like a black metal latch, but there was no lock inserted into the latch. Correct.
You could just flip the latch and open it.
Yes, sir.
But you can't say how many people or who ultimately went in that gazebo pond Airbnb during the 2 days surrounding the homicide.
Based off the totality of circumstances, there's no evidence that there was anybody other than these 5 people.
But we heard about the fact that you never see the Chevy Cruze or the Chevy Impala at any point in the video, right?
Correct.
But you believe they were there, right?
Yes.
So ultimately, you don't know, there could have been 100 people in and out of that gazebo pond address during the time, and you wouldn't see them on video, right?
Out of the back door, in theory, correct. However, when you factor in the entire investigation, there's no evidence that there was anybody else.
But there's also then would be no evidence that anything was carried in and out of the Chevy Impala or the Chevy Cruze, right? Because we don't have any video of that.
Well, there's video of bags coming out on the 23rd, yeah.
Sure, but they're not going into the Cruze with the Impala, are they?
Well, again, we see those bags go into the Impala in Jacksonville on the 22nd, and then we see them come out of the Airbnb. They had to go into the Airbnb at some point.
Sure, but my point is you don't see that in any of the camera footage.
Correct, yes.
And ultimately, you don't know what's in the bags either, right?
I have no definitive way of knowing. I have suspicions of what were in the bag.
Sure.
This is a chess match right now.
One of the things we do see before the bag is loaded in Jacksonville is you agree, we see, and I think you even said this, camera equipment being carried inside the house from that Impala before a bag is then carried back out soon thereafter.
Yeah, it appears the camera equipment was taken out of the Impala and put into the house. Correct.
And this probably goes without saying because we don't see the Impala, but you never see who would get in the Impala if it hypothetically left the gazebo pond address at any point.
We can see it on camera, no? Who drove it was Sean Gate, right?
Well, you don't know that, do you?
Yes, because he arrived at Grandma's house, and I
Look.
can account for where everybody else is at.
Sure. The next day we know that for sure.
Guns and ammo from the search warrant you did, and you did along with JSO and Mr. Chance and Mr. Gessler's house. Nothing ballistically came back from this murder in any way to Mr. Chance.
From Mr. Chance's house, no, not ballistically, no.
And Isaiah Chance, he doesn't go to Polk County with Mr. Gathright.
No, he does not.
And he doesn't go to Georgia with Rashad Murphy.
No, he does not.
And during the search of Mr. Gethright's home and car, nothing in there connects Isaiah Chance to this murder ballistically or forensically.
No.
He's going through all the evidence that doesn't point to Isaiah. Because I remember Isaiah just walked around and texted them his live location from Alicia's phone.
In that area where he spent the most amount of time, or his device spent the most amount of time, there are no clubs at the southwest corner of Hillsborough and Nebraska.
There's not a club that's no longer here, but at the time was called the Players Club that was in that
That's at
area?
19th and Hillsborough, further to the east of where his phone spent most of the time.
Okay, so that's 19th and Hillsborough. You're saying it's at 15th, that's about 4 blocks away.
So, yeah, so his phone does go in that general area, but that's That's not in between Teasers and Truth. That was from when he left Teasers parking lot. When the victim goes inside, he drives south on Hillsborough, makes a left, goes towards 19th and Hillsborough, is not there for more than 5 minutes, and then eventually works his way back towards Teasers by the time the victim's coming out.
You couldn't be much more.
In theory, sure.
So his lawyer's trying to add that he could have gone to a club and wasn't lying to him in his interrogation in the hour and a half window that they were driving around waiting.
And the fact that the cruise doesn't even stop as it passes by any car.
I'm guessing the communication is being done electronically through devices.
You say that there's no communication that you have, correct? Indicating that?
There are sharing of locations during that time frame between two of the phones. Yes, Alicia Andrews' phone and Sean Gateways.
But not Isaiah Chance's phone.
Correct.
So no other text messages or calls or anything like that from Isaiah Chance.
At that time period, no.
Defense lawyer was like, you have no evidence of texting between them or calling. There's no records because they were using some app that they never found. And he's like, well, they did share location. He's like, but it's not with Isaiah's phone though. He's on video taking the phone from Alicia though in the parking lot. I don't think this guy's even spoken once. Another Davion Murphy lawyer?
During your investigation, you had learned that the defendant Davion Murphy had traveled from Jacksonville to Tampa. Is that correct?
Correct.
You also learned, however, that Davion Murphy was in fact not a resident of Jacksonville at that time. Is that correct?
I'm aware he had an address out of Orlando. I'm not sure where he was residing specifically around that time.
And from what you learned, he came down in the silver Chevy Cruze. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that was with Rashad Murphy?
Correct.
And it's your testimony that the other individuals, Alicia Andrews, Sean Gathright, and Isaiah Chance, were in the Chevy Impala?
Correct.
Okay. I believe you had testified already that the Chevy Cruze was registered to Jasmine Glennon. Is that right?
Correct.
And I believe that's the mother of Shaheem Murphy's children, right?
Correct.
And Shaheem Murphy is Rashad Murphy's brother?
Correct.
Which would be Davion Murphy's cousin, so relative?
Yes.
Based on your testimony, you said that after the shooting, following early morning, the day of, on the 23rd, you had seen Davion Murphy leaving from the back and then entering through the front. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's the only footage that you have of Mr. Davion Murphy?
At the Airbnb, correct. Yes, sir.
When he's entering the Airbnb, he's not covering his face or trying to conceal his identity. Is that correct?
No, he is not.
Okay. Were you able to obtain any video surveillance of the defendant Davion Murphy entering what you believe that you exited from at the Home 2 Suites, the Black Impala, prior to the shooting?
We have all the footage that I was able to find. There were no functioning cameras near the door, and the ones for the complex didn't cover that section of the complex.
And you didn't capture any video surveillance of either the Black Impala or the Chevy Cruze driving past in the neighborhood of the Airbnb?
No,
parking lot?
the way you can get in if you make that immediate right is you would never go by a camera.
Okay.
So defense is poking holes here. The cars aren't on camera type shit. Davion's not on camera around the time of the murder for the Airbnb specifically. She about to cook on redirect here.
But based on search warrants and information obtained from the Apple iCloud accounts, is it clear that there is, when talking about Alicia Andrews' cell phone device, that what information is missing from Alicia Andrews' cell phone information captured on the iCloud?
There's information missing from that weekend.
Objection, Your Honor. Facts not evidence.
Overruled.
And sir, Alicia Andrews, she is the girlfriend of Isaiah Chance, is that correct?
Correct.
And I believe you were asked about the fact that she attempted to get an Airbnb before the Airbnb was booked by Rashad Murphy. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And the only relationship that you're aware of is that she is the girlfriend of Isaiah Chance. Is that correct?
Correct.
She is not a known member of 6 Block. Is that correct?
Correct.
She is not someone law enforcement officers in Jacksonville would immediately identify as an enemy of Charles Jones, foolio. Is that correct?
Correct.
So the first attempt at an Airbnb made down here in Tampa was by a non-gang member. Is that correct, Alicia Andrews?
Correct.
Someone who had no affiliation with 1200 or ATK, a known allied gang that specifically is against and hates 6 Block and Charles Jones. Is that correct?
Yeah, Alicia Andrews wasn't on Jacksonville's radar.
Again, Adjo Randolph, she was on scene as well when she was being interviewed?
Correct.
Again, Charles Jones, her friend, still on scene, deceased in that black charged vehicle, a few feet away from them. Is that correct?
Correct.
I think she's going for here that, of course, these victims are not going to be very cooperative. Their friend is dead in front of them.
You were asked questions about the interview of Mr. Howard that occurred in Jacksonville with the federal U.S. attorney. Is that correct?
Correct.
You were present?
Yes.
I was present at that time as well?
Yes, you were.
There were no promises ever made to Robert Howard by yourself or by my office as to any sort of promises of leniency or anything to him in exchange for the sworn statement that he provided at that day. Is that correct?
Correct.
And during the course of that interview, it was made clear by Mr. Howard that there were communications between him and I believe Mr. Gonzalez specifically asked about his client, Rashad Murphy. Is that correct?
Correct.
And he asked you about the interview that Mr. Howard had never brought that up. Is that correct?
Correct.
Were some of the communications between Robert Howard and Mr. Gonzalez's client, Rashad Murphy, did that occur after the offense?
Yes.
So obviously he could not have given you that information during that interview. Is that correct?
Correct.
You were also asked about the device that the federal agents had, Robert Howard's phone. Is that correct?
Correct.
You did ask for consent to be able to look in that. Is that correct?
Correct.
The federal agents that said at some point they would do what?
They would look into it.
Were you aware or were you made aware of there was an issue even accessing or opening the device?
I have a general knowledge of it. I'm not sure about the specifics.
And was Robert Howard, was he able to provide the federal agents the actual password to that device, or had he not had that information?
I don't think he had that information.
License plate readers. There is the silver Chevy Cruze, and can you give the date and time of that?
Yeah, that's June 26th at 8:17 p.m.
And then is there, the reason, the significance of this is there is another car plate that is traveling in tandem or nearer at the same time, is that correct, as the silver Chevy Cruze?
Correct.
All right. Did you, based on getting this information from Detective Carter, did you do research on the vehicle that is seen traveling in tandem with the silver Chevy Cruze on June 26th of 2024?
Yes.
And who is the registered owner of this black car with the plate Florida 678 SOS?
That is a registered to a gentleman who's known as Spinna Benz, and he's a 1200 rapper from the rival gang to Mr. Jones.
What? Did we know this? Spinna Ben's car is tracked with them after the murder with the Chevy Cruze. Oh my God.
Again, is because you are not in Jacksonville or not aware of all of the players in the Jacksonville gang scene, did you rely
All
upon
right,
Detective
guys,
Draven
well, I
and
think
other
that's
members
about
of the
it for today.
Jacksonville
We'll be
Sheriff's
keeping
Office
up
to
with this
assist you in
case as it
identifying
goes in.
people that were
Like and
associated with
subscribe,
1200 and ATK
please.
and with the victims group?
See